What's up? Welcome back to another episode of State of My Art Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Liorti. Thanks for joining me for episode 37. On today's show, I sit down and chat with my good friend, Evan Gutierrez. Evan is a very passionate local music scene fan. He comes to all our shows. He comes to some of our friends' bands' shows, and he's very supportive. He likes to get on stage and sing his heart out to his favorite songs. So we get into Evan's love for live punk rock music and some of the highlights from some of the shows he's been to. And I get educated on some of the old school San Diego music scene with bands like Radio Racer and Heads Down for Takeoff. We talk about the Epicenter. We also talk about some of what Evan has got going on lately. He's part of the San Diego Onewheel Rider group. It's a Facebook group page where they host one-wheel rides. It's basically a giant wheel in the middle of a board, almost like a skateboard, but with one big go-kart wheel. So Evan's all into that. We got to ride his one wheel after. And we get into some more general topics like the anxiety that comes from having social media accounts and some funny stories like how I got my little Snoopy tent and what that's all about. My good friend and bandmate, Nick Linari, joined me on this episode, kind of co-hosting. He introduced me to Evan. Him and Evan go way back. So let's get into it. My conversation with Evan Gutierrez alongside Nick Linari happened here at the Sharp School of Music and Studio on July 21st, 2021. All right, and we're really doing it.
We're really doing it.
Welcome to the State of My Art Podcast, Evan Gutierrez. Am I saying that right?
Gutierrez, roll the R's, whatever.
Gutierrez.
There you go. You can say it in a different way too if you want. Doesn't matter.
And Nick Linari, back at it. So for those of you who don't know Evan has been to every single one of our shows, both Rosedale, Mainsail, Summer Years, and a huge supporter of the local scene, San Diego scene, even a Little Orange County scene.
Little Orange County.
I'm pretty sure you've been up to those shows too. And yeah. we just appreciate it, man. We appreciate the support. I'm sure all the bands down here do.
Thanks.
And
appreciate that.
You got like a positive aura, and you bring it to the music scene, and it needs it right now so much. So thank you for that too.
Yeah, no problem. It's always a good time to come out and see you guys play, and all of our local friends that are in bands play. It's awesome.
You really love it and enjoy it, and and I mean, that's how we grew up. Like, we would go see our favorite bands, whether they were local or touring, and I don't know, how long have you been going to shows? Like, when's the first show you went to?
This is actually going to be a fun question. So my first show was actually at Spirit West Coast, which is like
Nice to go.
Where were they? It was in Del Mar.
Is that the fairgrounds?
At the fairgrounds at Del Mar. And that was like my first real concert. I don't know if I would like consider it like a show, but
yeah.
When was this?
Christian Music Festival.
Music Festival. Man, this was like over a decade ago. But there was like, I remember we had to bring cereal because there was this one band that played, and you like
Newsboys.
That's what it was. It was the Newsboys.
Yeah.
And I brought like Cap'n Crunch. I think everybody just throws Cap'n Crunch everywhere. It was wild. There was like cereal going everywhere. It was so
we were
insane.
at the show. We didn't know each other.
Oh, really?
Were you there? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They did it every year. They would play, and they had a song.
So yeah, you were probably there, and I not knowing you were there. That's crazy. But yeah, it was really cool though, because they had like they had something for everybody there, and they actually had like some freestyle motocross riders, like Riders for Christ, and they like had these like big jumps, and they were like, and I was in like motocross at the time, so everyone was like, "Oh, Evan, there's like motocross guys here," and I was like,
"Jump."
What? I should have just taken one of their motorcycles
like
and
huge backflips and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a Warped Tour Christian fest with extreme sports and music.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And bands.
Yeah. That was the first like show that I went to, and then I was kind of like never a good kid, so I went to a continuation school like the rest of high school. So
what do you mean never a good kid?
Well, I was just like getting into trouble and stuff, and like talking back to teachers, you know, like just
totally, like in high school.
Like in high school, yeah.
Okay.
And so there was a buddy of mine that actually was in the same. We like never transitioned throughout any classes. We were in the same classroom throughout the whole entire day.
Okay.
And so my buddy that used to take the van. We used to take this like van or school bus, whatever, to school. And he came from San Pasqual High School, and like basically it's kind of like the last school you can go to before. It's like a school that you go to if like you were disruptive to the class and like just were like just kind of out of control.
Okay.
And so he was in my class and he was like, "Hey, dude, like it sound like," I started sharing music. Like we kind of just vibed really well, and his name was Alex, and he was like.
So he went off to the school first.
Yeah, he kind of almost made it through high school, and then kind of like, I don't know, maybe we should edit his name out, but
we didn't. There's a lot of Alexes.
Yeah, there's a lot of Alexes. But yeah, he ended up like, I don't know, you kind of just, if you mess up really bad, I guess you get sent to like a school like this. But yeah, so I started like playing a lot of music that I like. I was listening to a lot of punk stuff, and he was like, "Yo, there's this like local punk band that like I used to go watch, and like they are from our school, like San Pasqual High School, and it was a band called Radio Racer, and they were a huge pop punk band. Like everybody knew who they were, and this was like, shoot, how long? This was so long ago. Like again, like over a decade ago, and I never really like to because at that time, like, I was going to bigger shows. I wasn't supporting the local scene.
Sure.
And so I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't want to go to a band that I don't know. And I don't know any of the songs. He's like, dude, trust me, you'll like, if you like Blink-182, you'll like, and like all the stuff that you listen to, you'll like these guys for sure. He's like, they're going to be playing in like a week and we can go check it out. And if you don't like it, then, you know, you can just keep going to your shows that you go to.
So you were kind of thinking like, if this is going to be like a small local band, it can't be as good as the shows I've been to.
Exactly. Yeah. So
a lot of people think that way at first.
Yeah. And so I went, and I actually this was like the beginning of me going to local shows and being as big as I am into local music today.
Nice.
And I was like, oh man, these guys are so cool, you know. And I would do the same thing to the lead singer's name was actually Nick Dillinger was his name. Go figure. Same name as you.
Me.
Yeah. And I would start singing. I like memorized all their songs, and I would go up to them and I like do it. I Do With You, and start like singing their songs.
Haha, my art, we call it.
Yeah.
Haha, your art.
Yeah. And so yeah, I just I really liked all of their songs, and I got into like one of their music videos. They had like a music video shoot. It was so sweet. It was so cool. Although it was like it was like kind of like you like wore this mask, and the song like had to go with along the song. How do I say it?
You had to like theme your mask on their song?
On their song was like it was like something about personality or something like that. I can be totally wrong. This was like a long time ago. But
this was Radio Racer still?
Radio Racer. It was a music video.
Are they still around?
Shoot. No, they're like...
Oh, so it's for the music video.
Yeah,
so
it was for the music video.
Okay.
Like, they could have been such a cool band if they still played. I'm still friends. San Diego band.
Cool.
Yeah. Nick, I think the lead singer lives in L.A.
Okay.
And Troy, I'm actually really good for. He was actually played a guitar in the band, and he was like such a good guitarist.
Different Troy, not Ready Set Troy.
Not Ready Set Troy. No,
so
actually, this Troy's kind of cooler. No, I'm
Troy
joking.
The guitar.
And they had a bass player named Mike.
Yeah, right. No,
No, they didn't.
So yeah, and actually Troy was like one of many talents. He played guitar and he also played the accordion in some songs. But yeah, such an awesome band, man. Like those were the days where I was just like, I went to that first local show and just went to all local shows and like went to some big name shows like when they'd come around, you know, like Blink and stuff like that. But I was always going and supporting their music and everybody else's music. There was like another band, Heads Down for Takeoff or something like that.
I've heard of that name.
They were old, and then there's another band that kind of Invictus. They're not a band anymore. These are like old this was when like MySpace was like big and like they were putting their music.
Yeah, so you were going to shows way back in the MySpace days. That's what I was kind of getting at.
Until I took a hiatus, you were like really part of the scene.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, Evan, you should come to my show.
So we can get to that. And so after everybody kind of moved on, like there were just so many great, it was such a good freaking scene.
So many venues, and
so like we, believe it or not, there was a few church venues where all these bands played at and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and it was, and we Epicenter, when the Epicenter was still open, that was just so cool to
experience. I got one show in there before they closed down, but
yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like, how can we like get a hold of the person that runs that place and just like...
When Mainsail started, that was kind of our stomping ground a little bit.
Really? That's where you guys would play?
We'd play the Epicenter.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a handful of those.
Scott Skidska.
Yeah.
He was on the show. Did you see that episode? It was like 10 episodes ago.
That's how I
believe
Scott.
So, yeah.
Good dude. He's in Ready, Set, Survive now.
Yeah. I've never met him, but I've seen him at Troy's house. I never introduced myself or like went up to him, but I will though, because I heard he's really cool.
He's a legend, man.
Troy's all about him. Like Troy loves Scott.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Super good dude.
But yeah, that was just so memorable. Like, and Boxcar Racer played there way back when, and there's just like
Epicenter.
Yeah,
at Epicenter. There's like videos on YouTube of like them playing there.
Oh, I've seen them like, too many times. Too many times. That got me through my surgery. Those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watch them over and over and want to play the Epicenter, and then finally did, and couldn't see the back half of the room because that beam.
Yeah.
So you actually went to a Boxcar show there?
No, but the first real show I ever went to was Boxcar Racer, The Used, and H2O in Toronto.
Oh,
and then this DVD came out.
See, I missed out on
and
all
of that. And I was
like,
whoa, this venue, Epicenter, San Diego, that looks so cool. And then I played there in like 2015 maybe.
Yeah.
At the Epicenter?
Right before they closed, yeah.
So you guys both got to play there.
2015, 2016.
Wow, we could have crossed paths years ago.
See, that's what, I was just thinking to myself, I'm 31, and I think I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I don't think by the time, the shows...
I didn't realize you were a year younger than me. I thought you were like Nick's age.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
so yeah,
25.
I forgot that you were like probably you're a year older than me.
I thought you were about 25. Yeah, I'm 32.
I'm 29. Okay. I was lying.
So, I'm surprised I never saw you there. Or maybe I'm surprised you've never heard of Radio Racer or any of the bands that I
took a hiatus from the music scene and music, like just pursuing rock music for like 5-6 years.
The Myspace Downfall, when MySpace went down, a lot of musicians just kind of moved on.
True.
So when that happened, and like everybody, like when everybody just broke up, and so I just started going to big shows.
It was hip to break up.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, we broke up, but I got the solo project now.
Yeah. And it's all like techno beats.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
303 based.
After that all happened and everybody, kind of broke up, I started going to big shows again, and I was just like, dang, I didn't even know there was a local scene anymore. And so up until I started going to North Coast, and that's when I ran into Andrew Pulfer, who is a lead singer at North Coast, and then he was like, hey, have you met my buddy Nick? And that's how that day that I met you is the start of when I got back all into it again.
Yeah, and I remember I left a CD for you in your truck window.
That was at Walmart, right?
Yeah. I ran into you at Walmart, I think. And I left a Mainsail CD in your window because you had the Blink sticker on the back.
Yeah, and the Angels
your truck.
Did
so
I have the
I
Angels
knew it was your truck. So I left the little CD, and I think I had business cards printed up too, and I left one in there. Had all our socials on it.
Yeah. Nick has gotten so many people back into the scene.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
So you're like almost like
just when you think you're scotch, you think you're free, I just grab you by the ankles.
You know, it's funny too because he was trying to get me to come out to shows for the longest time, and like I was like, oh, you know, like I got back into my old self again. I was like, oh, I don't know, like, and then like finally I went to one of your shows.
A CD was the catalyst.
Yeah, and oddly enough, like my truck didn't even have a CD player, so like I like couldn't even use it.
That's funny.
So I think I like found some YouTube videos, and then I ran into a few more times. I ran into you at church. And you're like, dude, you should come to a show, man. You should come to a show. And I was like, yeah, I still do. And I was like, oh, I'm busy, you know. And then that one time I saw you. I was going for a plumbing job out in Orange County. And I saw you at the grocery store at Vaughn's. Remember when I ran into you at Vaughn's? And you're like, yeah. I was like, yo, what's up, Nick? And you're like, what's up, dude?
Carlsbad.
And Carlsbad, Oceanside? Yeah, Carlsbad. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm about to play Advanced Warped Tour. And I was like, what? Like right now? And you're like, yep. Yeah. And then you like...
Did you go to that Warped Tour?
I didn't. That was like, I think was that the last? No, it wasn't
2017, wasn't it?
It was 2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah, that was right before I met the Mainsail boys.
That's cool.
But yeah, man. So do you still live in Oceanside or Carlsbad?
I live in Vista.
Vista, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. It's a nice town. They're finally building it up, making it nice.
Nice. North County, man. That's the thing is... It is really tough to get, let alone a stranger. A stranger is really tough to convince to come out to a local show. But to convince someone who used to go to shows like, hey, like, come back and check it out. Like, see what's going on now. See these new bands. See our band. See what we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's like pulling teeth for no reason because people are like, I know I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it's another thing you got to go out and do. It's looked at as a chore at first.
You know you're going to get sucked in. So
which I'm so sorry that
they don't want to dip their toe in. They're like, oh.
Well, not only that, but people, it's so saturated too that maybe somebody went to a coworker's show that they were like obligated to go to as a favor and felt like I'm not doing. I don't want to go to do.
It was a Godsmack cover band.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been anything. Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never been to one of those.
Yeah.
But I'm so sorry that I put it off for the longest time to come see you play, dude.
Well, dude, I mean that was 3 years ago. You've been to like 100 shows.
Was it 3 years ago?
It was a long time ago.
It seems like it's been longer than that.
I think your debt has been paid.
Yeah, honestly, if you show up to one show after not showing up to a bunch, your debt is paid off to us. Like it's so.
You guys are just always so awesome to watch.
Remember when we opened for the Ataris, dude?
So yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up next. Is that you know, after meeting you and like seeing your band play so many times and like hanging out, like I don't know what happened. I just kind of like got up on stage and started singing.
It was premeditated.
And then
we talked about it on the phone.
Did we? Or was it? Or did I just did I just come up and was like,
no, I was like, come sing All the Small Things or something.
Yeah.
Was it All the Small Things?
No, because the one we were doing for the longest time was Josie, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Josie.
So yeah, you guys did play Josie at that show, and Evan came up and sang?
Yes.
It was like all local stuff.
They loved it. The crowd loved it.
It was all local like shows. It was like it was before it was anything like big. It was just like local bars and stuff that I would just hop on stage and it would be like.
No, it's still your thing.
Yeah. But
then that led up to us opening for the Ataris, and then Evan's like, yo, are you going to play Josie? And I was like, sure. And then I invited you up, and we did Josie.
Yeah.
We were direct support for the Ataris right before the Ataris.
Direct support.
And the crowd, they loved it.
Nice.
They loved it.
Did you sing the whole song? Or?
No, so there's like this one point, there's like this one section of the song where it's like, I know that everything. No, and then I like kind of finish it off.
Yeah, the Tom part.
And then I kind of switched it up in between the break where it's just when there's like when you can like say something.
Oh, yeah,
I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of covers of Josie's songs, and there was this one band that implemented the fade fell short this time. And so I would sing that during like one of the breaks.
That is
and it just, and I did feeling like a little thing of feeling this. And it just works so well. And like I just started doing that every time we did Josie. And, you know, to piggyback off that, I mean, Nick didn't even have to let me do that. Like I felt so honored because I felt like, you know, a part of me was like, oh, I'm kind of like stealing their spotlight. This is like their claim to fame.
You stole the spotlight a little bit.
And here I am coming in, doing a cover song with them, and I mean, Nick could have said no, and like after
it shows they had diehard fans.
Punk rock.
Well, you know, I was just like, it was like a shot in the dark of me asking him, so I was like, he could like very well say no, and you just got to be okay with it because that is their show. And it was a sold out show. Like I talked to a few people that actually were at that show that came from out of state. And like they flew to come see that show, and it was just such a good experience. And like,
it was one of the best shows ever.
It was just so freaking cool. And like I mean, I'm getting like goosebumps. But like that really like made my like. If any show that I played, that's like my most claim to fame one was playing with you guys at that show.
Well, this is why we're trying to get you to start a band or join an existing band that's like needing a singer or even just a hype man. I like how like rappers have hype man.
Dude, doesn't the Mighty Boss Tone, don't they have like a hype man?
Really?
Yeah, he's a backup singer, but he's like skanking the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you gotta find
I don't know of this. Oh, right. Who are they?
The Mighty Boss Tone.
I don't think I've ever heard
of them. They're a ska band.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in a fun party band or rap show, it's like more acceptable. But it would be cool if it was acceptable in, I don't know, a band that you're just a big fan of that's like, sure, you can come on the road, do our merch, and be our hype man. Yeah. I think that's your calling.
I know,
or
totally.
Just join a band and be the front man or like a second singer or something.
Well, I mean, that's why I kind of have like you guys and Avenue Army. I'm just joking.
You need to start your own band. This is an intervention.
It is and it isn't though, because also I like how... There's a lot of people who, once they start bands, they stop going to shows. So I don't want you to become that either. We need you to keep being the super fan Evan that supports the scene and brings new people out to shows.
Yeah, totally.
I honestly, like, I'm going to throw this excuse out there. I just don't have time to, like, or patience to do it. To be in a band.
Yeah.
I just got a new car and like, you know, have to like work all the time. Like, I mean, I could, I mean, this is kind of like a good excuse, but I mean, it's possible, but I just don't have all the time to do it. I would think I'd just be a letdown, but.
You could do a little cover band for fun. Maybe find a band that's already just doing stuff.
I could do that,
you know,
but,
and then you could sub in.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, but
that's
I hear
the things. You never know.
With a full-time job, it's tough.
Yeah, I give you guys mad props and like Avenue Army,
well, we
like
have no life.
all those other people that like have kids and like have another job at the same time. Like, I don't know how they do it, but they make the time.
Here's the thing: how did people do it before smartphones? How did people do it before GPSs? How did they tour? Yeah. How did they book shows? How did they find the time to work a full-time job and write an album a year? And I think it all also has to do with the fact that like we waste 30 to 500 minutes a week just looking at this thing, right? Or some people even a day will look. You know, the screen time count on some people's phones are insane. So it's really tough to get all the things done for your band and, you know, have a social life and go to shows, especially, is the point I'm getting to. Like, there's a lot of people who used to love going to shows 5 years ago, and then I'm like, you know, you could still do that, but they think that their life is too busy to, or they think they have all these other things they got to do. But a lot of times, you know, myself included, I fall into this trap too, where it's like, I don't have enough, I feel like I don't have enough time to do all these things I need to do, but, you know, I'm forgetting about that hour and a half that I watched that YouTube thing, or, you know, had to post something and it ended up taking way longer than I thought it was going to take. So we never had that technology before, and that technology kind of holds us down and takes up a lot of time. And it's too bad it didn't come with an extra 6 hours every day. Like everybody says, oh, a 30-hour day would be perfect. I can get everything done and I can go to your show, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, I
could be in a band. And it's true. It's hard to keep up with everything. Yeah. And the things that used to be important are no longer nearly as important, is what the claim is from a lot of really smart people on what social media specifically, not smartphones, but just social media in general, like eats your day.
You know, it's funny because, like, I've always, like, wanted to be in a band, but, like, now, like, after, like, being around so many of you guys and, like, everybody, I'm just, like, maybe I could just, like, not, or maybe I shouldn't do that, but, yeah, it's what it comes down to is time management, and, you know, like, sometimes I will admit that I have poor time management, but, I mean, I think you follow me on Facebook, you know, I don't have an Instagram, I'm a loser, but I'm always doing something, you know, like there's always, I'm like...
You just proved my point. You don't have an Instagram. I wouldn't say you're a loser.
No.
But I would say
Instagram's dumb.
That's why you
it's just another thing to get
That's why you get out there and you're like, I'm going to go to not only go to shows, but like you really go for it. You're like, I'm going to ask if I can go on stage and sing with this band.
Yeah.
People with Instagram accounts don't have that anymore. Like there's kind of a self-conscious piece that comes with that. I'm going to put myself out there digitally, cyberly, or whatever the word would be. But in person, it's like there's a disconnect, and it's harder for us to look people in the eyes, and it's harder for us to be like, I'm going to get on stage and, you know, might make a fool of myself, but I don't care, because everyone's got these like social accounts that they're so concerned about too. So I think that's also probably a pretty good reason why you're like, screw it, I'm going to go out there and go after it and go for it. And like at first I didn't know what to think of that from you. Like you're like, hey, I just met you, but we should jam sometime.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I've been jamming all week. I don't know, brother.
I thought you were an asshole at first. Right. I was like, because I saw Nick like post some stuff and like doing stuff with you, and I was like, oh, this guy's like super cool. Like he's like I think it was like a few cover songs from like Boxcar Racer or something. I could be totally wrong. But
well, we were playing acoustic shows at the time. We were covering there.
Yeah, and so I was just like, that's probably what it was, actually. It was when I saw you, and I was like, dude, like, could you be down to play?
That was when Maindale was just getting started.
At, like, what was that venue, Jack's?
No, it was at Natalie's birthday party.
Jack.
Yeah, but we played Midnight Jack's before Natalie's birthday.
Oh, was it? Was I there? Oh, you know what? I think so. Yeah. It was Legacy. Was it at Legacy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so I think we did
Legacy,
like
then
Midnight Jack's
we did a bunch. We got on a roll.
Yeah.
Natalie's birthday was like kind of one of the last things we did.
I don't know why.
Oh, really?
I thought that was the first time I met you.
No.
I think I felt like it was though, like me actually like getting to talk to you.
Maybe.
But yeah, I came up to you and I was like, dude, we should do some like Boxcar Racer cover song. And you're like,
I was like, who's this guy?
Dude, like I'm like pretty much done. Like I don't like covering. You're like, I don't like covering other people's songs anymore.
You caught Mike. You got.
I think you were tired or something.
Spiral.
And then like I called Nick. I called Nick like the next day.
Songs all week.
Mike. That
I called Nick the next day and I was like, yo, dude, like, I don't know. I'm not too sure about this Mike guy. Like, he wasn't even down to, like, do this cover song. Like, I really, like, wanted to jam and, like, because I love doing cover stuff. Like,
I'm sorry, man. I didn't even know you.
And you're like, oh, he's cool. And I was like, all right. Like, so I gave you another and, like, now we're, like, best of friends. Like, I love being around you. You know, you're a super funny guy. Like,
yeah. I forgot that happened. That's so funny.
Yeah, I like called Nick. I was kind of like butthurt about it.
That's another thing. You call people. A lot of people don't call people anymore.
Yeah, I'm more of I feel like you can't like. Text is just like you can't really like it. You can misinterpret text like so many and like and I like rather just call to get my point across because to like. my conversations can be very long, I'm pretty sure. But
you like to talk.
I do like to talk.
But that's okay.
That's why I wanted to have you on the show.
That's why sometimes we'll be 15 minutes, 20 minutes into a phone call, be like, Evan, I gotta have the phone now. But it's not, but you just like to talk, and that's cool. Like, I love talking to you.
But like, can you imagine me, like, just, like, writing a long text message? It would be like an essay. It would be terrible.
It's a chore to read.
Right.
And
like, and I'd rather not put somebody through that, you know? Like,
that's a good way to put
oh my gosh, Evan, stop. How do you have time to do all this? But no,
that's a good point.
That's, shout out to all you paragraph texters.
I don't get that. I hate it.
Change your ways.
I hate it, you know? But yeah, so I got butthurt, and I called Nick, and I was like, dude, I don't know, like, I'm kind of bummed out right now. Like, Mike seemed like a cool dude, and he shot me down.
It's one of those things where you don't want to meet your heroes because...
I was like... Yo, he seems like a cool guy, but like in reality,
but
he is cool. That's true.
Well, you can't catch someone in a good mood all the time, especially when you've never met them before. Yeah. I was like, I don't even know
who is this short dude really like talking to me. Like,
no, it's true. I mean, you can't have any bad days as a musician. Otherwise, the world thinks you're an asshole.
It's true, or any celebrity, really.
True. Yeah. I have friends who are good friends of mine now, but they were like, oh, I thought you like didn't like me or you were a jerk or something. Like the first time I met you, I guess I just had RBF.
Yeah,
I was at the merch table exhausted or something.
Yeah, you could have had a poor night's sleep even. That's a big thing. Yeah. And that boils back down to staring at a blue screen all day too.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we're losing sleep because of it, and like...
On that note, I am so grateful and thankful that
everything's back on.
That you guys have let me come up on stage to sing with you guys quite a few times, and shout out to Avenue Army and Ready Set Survive.
Big shout out to Avenue Army,
the Avenue Armies,
and the Ready Set Survives.
The Ready Set Survives. But yeah, when I go and do that, like, I don't rehearse with them, so I just listen to the song 1,000 times,
right,
and then just go up there and give it my best shot.
It's your rehearsal.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to actually, because I do American Criminals with Avenue Army, or I have in the past, and so I've been meaning to reach out to Max, be like, hey, can I like come rehearse that song with you, or rehearse that song with you guys, so I can like, but I mean that song I've never had a problem with, but there have been some times where I've choked up. I don't know. I still get that like stage fright sometimes, like but when I play with you guys, I don't want to jinx myself, but like I've never had like a hard time. Like it's just always very like I'm just in my zone when I play with you guys, or we do a cover song or whatever.
Sweet.
And it's so
just for fun,
Yeah. But I don't know. I like to like make sure like I sound good, and like I'm not like the off-key person singing, especially like on hype songs. But yeah, there was this one time where that Halloween show that Troy put on at the
Moreau?
No, at Legacy, and he like it was on the news too, and it was like they went on KUSI or something like that, and they played like a couple songs, and then he was like, come out to our show at and then they went back on, like the news actually
came out to that show. Really?
They went to the the KUSI news station place, and they like played outside.
Yeah, I saw that morning thing.
Yeah, and then they said it again where it was going to be at, and so it was a packed show. It was huge, and we did a Green Day cover song. It was shoot.
I remember I did sound for that.
Yeah,
show.
You did, and I did. I like really messed it up, dude. Holiday? That was like it was Holiday. Yep, I completely got all screwed up.
It's all good.
I was kind of having a weird day though, because like I got
Mike has missed a note or two in his life, if you can believe it.
Yeah, but this was like really bad, like Same. To where like I looked at Troy and I just got choked up. I was like, oh shoot, like I forgot the lyrics. Like I don't know. It's funny because I did that song really well at the Moreau with them perfectly for the St. Patty's Day show that they did, and like killed it. And then for some reason, I was going through a tough time around that time, and I had just gotten off the phone with somebody, so I was just like, now I have to like bounce back and like, you know, be happy.
Puts you in a
and
funk.
it really screwed me up, and I tried to shake it off, and I was just like, darn it. And like, and then I got up and like got up on stage, and then I just got like messed up a lot of lyrics. And then
it's a good lesson learned though, because that's why athletes and performers, they make sure to not have any of that negative energy come in, and they're very like almost what's the word, routine, but like I can't think of the word, about how they're like going to get in the zone, and everything has to be perfect, right? So that they can actually be in the flow state and be in the positive mindset and be in the right mindset. And you go through that.
Yeah.
That's why I want to like get you on stage more, but in like your own path, or not even on stage, but like maybe you're meant to make some sort of YouTube channel that is like you doing cover songs,
something,
big bands, local bands,
you know,
songs that you like.
It's funny. I've been. I was hanging out with Wade, the drummer from Unwritten Law. We're kind of like we're like I don't know how good of friends we are, but like we know of each other. Like, he knows who I am and stuff. And
acquainted.
And it was like the second time, because I went to Eric's house, the bassist of Sublime, so after I was talking to Wade because he's in a band called Spray Allen, and Spray Allen is basically the bassist of Sublime, and then two guys from upstate New York, and then the drummer Wade from Unwritten Law.
Okay.
And at that show that night, I was like, "Yo, what's up, Wade?" And he's like, "What's up, dude? Good to see you again." You know, and we were start talking, and he was like, "I don't know what you're here on this earth for, but you're definitely like here for something." And like, he's like, you should start a band. Like, you should be in a band, or like maybe not a band, but like you're a cool dude. And so I got his number after the show. I texted him once. But I texted him happy birthday a while back, like a week ago. But
yeah, man, it's those positive vibes.
But it was cool to hear him say that, you know.
Yeah. I think everyone agrees with that. Is like, you're meant to take this passion that you have for the scene and punk rock, and not necessarily monetize it, but create something that, you know, everyone wants to check out. And like, just that energy that you have towards your passion is magnetic. And I don't know, I'd hate to see it just go to waste by only showing up to shows.
I think maybe your involvement with Riot Scene is a little bit of that kind of manifesting, you know?
For sure.
I was wondering when that was going to be brought up. We actually had our second show a couple weeks ago, and it like,
was that the Poorhouse one?
It was at the Poorhouse. It was super cool. Peter wasn't able to make it.
Good guy. Shout out Peter.
Shout out Peter. Yeah, Peter, dude, love you, man.
So you were running the ship.
I was helping. He had there was a friend of his, Laurel, and Heather, the owner of Lady Luck Printing Company. And so they were kind of like, she was in charge of like paying out all the bands, I think, and then Laurel kind of like did the merch, and I helped her do the banners and stuff. But that's been a blessing too.
Man.
You know, helping out with Riot Scene and being on some type of positive, you know, something that's just positive, you know. And I think what Peter does is freaking awesome. Like, you know, supporting local music, you know, that's what we are like. That's what we like to do, is support the local music scene. And he plays such a big part in San Diego, I feel. Because I don't know of anybody else that is doing what he does. I mean, we were like, you know, doing so many shows before shutdown, and you know, it was always so fun to just help out, you know, like and be a part of something.
He's a really sweet guy.
Yeah, I love Peter.
And
Gotta love Peter.
Yeah, just good vibes.
I've been blessed with him, having me on the team and helping out,
Sure,
And I'm always reaching out to him like, hey, what can I do to help? Or is there anything I could do? Do you need help setting up where
Shout out Sam, too.
Sam, yeah. Riot
She's
Queen.
Awesome.
Riot Queen.
Riot Queen, Sam. Yeah,
great.
she's awesome, dude. They're all so cool,
Totally.
man. Nothing but nice things to say about those guys.
Agreed.
They're
It
so cool.
reminded me that she kind of runs their little karaoke thing from time to time. That's your calling, man.
Yeah.
Maybe you should
Get in there.
get that.
She's a very, very talented singer. Like
Yeah.
she
she's
can go
awesome.
somewhere.
Totally.
Sam is. Have you heard her sing?
She
She
did a song
is-
with me once.
Yeah, she's. Oh yeah, that's right.
We did If It Means a Lot to You.
Yeah,
I sang with Peter.
Peter has a good voice too.
I karaoke to once. We did a Say Anything song.
Nice.
Oh, did you really? That's so cool.
I think we sang Wow, I Can Get Sexual Too.
Yeah, sounds about right.
For you Say Anything fans.
Do they still have that burger place down? Where did we play that acoustic show? Or I think
Himmelberg's.
no.
Oh, wait, no, sorry.
There's a brewery.
Yeah, it's like a brewery diner. It was like steaming up. They were frying some burgers in there. Small little place.
Is it the one that Sam was working at?
Yeah.
Legacy in in
Oh, is it also called Legacy? It might.
Mira Mesa?
Mira
Yeah, it
Mesa.
wasn't Mira Mesa.
Yeah,
A
that's
different-
Legacy.
Different Legacy.
It's called Legacy as well.
Yeah, that was also another Legacy.
Yeah, that place was cool.
Did you like? I don't. It was all right. I
The
think.
food was good.
Yeah, the food was great.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Is it back open?
I think it is, but I don't know if Sam works there anymore. But
So what do you think of This Light?
this light. So Nick actually, I had that on SoundCloud for a while.
Whoa. Don't say that.
I'm just sorry.
What did I tell you about
I'm just
So when did Nick
it
send
magically
you the master?
it magically got sent to me. Okay, I don't know if he sent it to me. Maybe it was Tom DeLonge. I don't know. But
So tell me more about this Tom DeLonge. No. Change the subject.
yeah, change the subject.
No, yeah, This Light. Yeah, you've...
Uh,
We listened to it. We listened to it together.
I
Maybe apart a little
think
bit.
it's probably one of my favorite songs. It's so
Nice.
like you guys like killed it
Thanks,
on that
dude.
song. Like the whole like the beginning of it, like the sound is like you're going up to heaven or something. Like it's just such a calming sound.
Shout out Adam Cisco
remember-
getting that reverb pad.
You guys need to
reverb pad.
make more like songs
I
like
remember
that.
when Adam and I were creating that intro, and I was like, it needs some kind of lead into this riff, something ethereal. I don't know if it needs to be a guitar swell or something. He literally just created
Did he make that?
a reverb.
Yeah,
like,
stemming from a note that
Stemming
just
from a note.
carried on forever. And
But I
it's
felt
Exactly.
like you could have just
And
created that on a piano or something.
that's what Adam did. He engineered it, and
Yeah.
it was just like, wow, like that's better than anything that I could have thought. And I was like, yes. And I remember driving home from the studio that night, just listening to it. I was like, this is so cool. I love this.
Shout out Adam
Yeah.
Cisco, dude. Freaking
Totally.
love Adam.
He made that song. Totally.
Adam's a cool guy.
just worked 33 hours with him the last 2 days.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No.
Some people have all the luck. No, you guys, that's like seriously, like I've been like listening to that song, blaring it at work, just like
Thanks, dude.
I love
Thanks,
that
man.
song. That's such a great song. And I wish you guys the best of luck on your journey for music, because your guys' the music, like Summer Years is, I don't know if you're gonna carry. I mean, if we can talk about this, are you guys gonna carry the songs from the other band like or over, or are you guys gonna kind of let that be in the past, or what's?
Well, I mean, we have new material, and so we're going to be playing that. That's our focus. But, we're no stranger to the old songs, the old tunes.
I feel like I know a lot of the words to some of the old songs.
We played Photographs at the last 2 shows.
Yeah, I heard that. That was cool.
Whatever. That doesn't bother me at all.
We just treat them as cover songs, pretty much. We've even played Rosedale songs.
Yeah, totally.
Just to fill the night sometimes. And I mean, hey,
on those 2-hour sets.
Yeah, I mean, why not? There's lighting programs, there's backtracks, there's everything already built. Let's learn a song that we don't have to do.
Like, people don't know that.
But I know it, so it works for me.
It's all played live.
Worked perfectly.
Oh yeah, the lighting. We have someone at the back pushing the lights.
No, it's just all part of the magic. You know what I mean? So it's like,
if we play good enough, the lights will move.
Right.
So this light is Summer Years. Is that going to be your single? Like your...
That's the first single off the gate.
First single.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, that song is just so good. I hope, another thing too is maybe you should do a lyric video so people can learn the song and sing it at your shows.
It's not a bad idea.
And also too, the other 2 new songs that you guys played from Summer Years, I couldn't even sing along to because I didn't know the lyrics.
Right.
It was cool to jam to, but...
It would have been 3, and probably Not Letting Go,
it was
Picture
all
You
them.
Paint.
Yeah. The ones that you guys played, I was like, dang, I don't know the lyrics to
But
any
you
of
knew
these.
Small World, and you knew
Small World.
Blue
But
Skies.
is that a Summer Years song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just a little, Easter egg for those listening. If you come to a Summer Years show, we play the whole album.
Right.
So if you want to hear it before it's released, come on down.
Yeah, whenever our next show is.
Yeah, whenever that may be.
Hopefully we have one to announce by the time this is out.
Where did you guys film the music video at Gnarlywood?
For this light, yeah.
It's such an awesome place.
Yep.
It's a cool spot. It's local. It's easy to get to. It's like right here.
Dude, that place...
It's awesome.
Is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The luck that we fell into with that place.
Yeah.
Is like... I don't know if we would have nearly the success that we have if it wasn't for that establishment.
The
Hicks brothers.
Pug Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Pug Hicks, dude.
Yeah.
Hooter, Teddy.
Yeah.
Just such cool guys.
They're
and
family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are they all family?
Well, yeah, they're family, but I'm saying
they treat us like family.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And they treat all their employees like family, and like they're just...
I mean, what a cool gig to land on, dude, on that.
Yeah.
Like, working for them and sticking it out, and getting yourself in there and the love for music. You got yourself there. So,
Pug DM'd me on Instagram, and that's what led to all of this.
What's crazy is 2 months before, I gotta have them on and like go through all
this. That'd be way cool.
But like 2 months before we even got that opportunity to go in and work some random Monday morning, I saw a dude sitting at the Padres. I was at the Padres game, like 2 rows down from me, wearing the Shark mainsail shirt.
Theodore.
And I was like, I wonder who this guy is. Like, I should go up to him and ask him, how he knows mainsail. And I just didn't. He was with his friend, and they looked like they were just hanging out and enjoying the night. And I didn't want to be like, oh, my band, and look like some small band.
Yeah.
But 2 months later, we started working there, and I was like, that's the guy who was wearing the mainsail shirt.
That's way cool. So it was a worker that worked.
Owner.
It was one of the owners, Teddy Hicks, was wearing
from Gnarlywood.
Was wearing the Shark mainsail shirt that he probably got at a show.
That's crazy.
He was like the one who was like a big fan of the band. Like the first day I worked there, he was like, "Hey, dude, yeah, I'm a big fan of your band. You play mainsail, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I saw you at a Padres game wearing a mainsail shirt like 2 months ago. Isn't that weird? That
Did
I
you
remember
tell him
that?
That's so.
Yeah.
What do you say after that?
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, that's probably me. That's probably me. Sounds right."
How cool is that? That's such an awesome story.
Yeah,
that's rad.
And they like have a huge Christmas party every year that we went out to, and I mean, we get to see some really cool bands play there, practice there, and they just are literally so in love with music and rock and roll, and it's just really cool that they have such a great gig for people and like for the music industry and like keep it cool, because the industry can get very like corporate and kind of slave driven.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we want to get our family in here and keep cool vibes and make it happen with what, you know, little resources we have in comparison to how much they got coming in. For instance, like around Christmas time, they get slammed, and they were just like, no, we want to keep our employees. If they want to work overtime, they're going to work here, and we trust them, you know? So it's literally like they treat everyone like family. And
that's so rad.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer when I had to like leave that place and go back to Canada, because I was like, man, that was my home. They let me sleep in the parking lot and shower there. I was like basically living out of that place for months.
What's your story now? Are you like full residence here, or?
I'm still here on a work permit.
Oh, okay.
That I managed to extend this year. So I was supposed to go back in June, and I just extended it. So are you going to go
back to work at Gnarlywood, or?
No, I've been working a bunch of different gigs. Been working here at Sharp, teaching, doing shows when they have shows.
Good for you, man.
Working at the church doing sound.
That's awesome.
Coast City. So, I mean, opportunities just keep falling in my lap here in San Diego.
And that's such an awesome thing for you though too, because then you can probably land a bit. Like what's it like to just be a citizen here, like from Canada? Like is that in the works? Do you want to talk? Like, can you talk about that?
Well, from what I've read, it takes like 5 years to like get your green card, and I don't know if I can just go apply while I'm on a work permit, or if I'm gonna need like a 6-month waiting period, you know, being in Canada or whatever. But I mean, I've been doing the work permit for over a decade every year, and just because I do play shows down here, you know.
Yeah. Well,
that is my gig.
You're like a hard worker out here too, you know, like so. I hope one day maybe you can get citizenship here, because you're a cool dude. And
yeah, eventually. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I procrastinate on, because it's like I have the work permit. It's probably cheaper this way than to throw down, I don't know what it would be, $2,000 or something to sit and wait to be approved.
Right.
And then I've also heard
but
that
it's an investment for yourself though.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just like, I don't want to put myself in a place where, oh shoot, now I can't go there for a while, or I don't know. I got to do some real homework on it.
Research.
But I've even heard that if you get married to an American, then that it's only like a 30-day waiting process to go and like take the test or whatever it is. But I don't know, maybe someone can help me. Yeah, the COVID test.
It's crazy how like, you know, if you wanted to like live in England, you could. And like, you know, I don't think do you have to take a test in?
Mike is just going to go the Justin Bieber route, where he becomes so famous that he's basically like American, like he's grandfathered in. It's like royalty.
Is Justin Bieber from
And then
Canada?
He's going to fall from grace and get threatened deportation.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
Well, maybe that happened in like 2014.
Oh, okay.
But like, that could be your route.
Maybe.
Just get so big. It's like, oh, we can't send Mike back.
Well, the thing is, I'm like under the musicians union that gets the work permit for me. So as long as I'm just still doing music, I mean, nobody can replace my specific voice, you know, so it's like a performing work permit. So as long as I'm still performing, I can keep getting that work permit. It was just tough in 2020 because all the venues were closed. Where are you performing? Show proof, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Dave Chappelle's backyard. That's what you should have said.
Yeah, hopefully
was that
super
like hard when Mike had to go back? I'm sure you guys like.
Oh, it was like the best 10 months of my life. It
was like 8 months.
I'm joking. It was hard, but we had it so much easier than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know, so it was hard to be super grumpy about it. Yeah, it would have been nice to have Mike around and to keep kind of plugging along the way that we had been, but we were, for all intents and purposes, very blessed, very fortunate people. You know, we didn't get sick. We didn't have a giant tour that we had to cancel.
Yeah. We were in a development state anyway. We knew we were changing the name.
Right.
We knew we had to finish these songs, which luckily we just got in before Gnarlywood was like, yeah, we're not allowed to have you guys practice here anymore. We're right here anymore.
Right.
And then when that happened, it was like, shoot, I need a studio. I need something. And I was renting out an Airbnb just so I could work online because I had no Wi-Fi not being at Gnarlywood anymore. So I was basically spending everything I was making at Gnarlywood on an Airbnb to stay down here for the last month that I could. And then when I went home, it was like, well, now I can kind of do the things that I've been procrastinating on doing. Starting a freaking podcast, finishing up these mainsail songs and adding the production I want to add without having a 9 to 5.
Right.
So I was back home in my studio doing that, and then we were still Zooming and figuring out what we were going to call this project and what we need to do to finish the songs. Right.
When summer years.
and figuring out when we were going to get in the studio, which like I knew I could fly down here, so we figured that out. I flew down. We recorded a year ago. Yeah.
A year ago.
2020 just seemed like. There's so many words we can call it.
A weird dream.
What was it like for you? I know everyone's sick of talking about the pandemic for some reason. It was a freaking huge part of our history, but...
Oh, we can get into this.
Let's do it. Yeah, so, we got a few minutes.
Completely non-related to music. I bought a Onewheel.
Oh yeah, you started. That's your thing now.
So like,
we gotta bring that up.
I mainly. So I remember when I was in high school, I was like 16 or 17 or something like that, and I saw a Kickstarter for this Onewheel thing, and I was like, oh dude, these look sweet. I saw like the promotional video and everything. That
blew up.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. I went to click on it and I was like, how much are these things? And it was like still at the time in like
2011 or 12 they came out, I thought.
8.
Oh,
so
wow.
This was just the Kickstarter. This was like before they started making these things. I was like, oh crap! Like I was still in high school, and it was like $1,200 or $1,300, and I was like, there's no, I don't even have a job that can like afford this thing. So who knew, like freaking a decade later, that I would get into this? So,
how much are they now?
Well, there's 2 models. There's the pint, which tops out at like 15 point something miles an hour, and it goes up to like 7 or 8 miles. And then there's the XR, which tops out at 20 miles an hour and goes 17 miles. And so the pint is $1,100 and the XR is $1,799.
Oh, so they haven't gone down.
No, but the pint, well, they haven't. If anything, they were more expensive than the V1, which is their version 1. Yeah,
with like the wood.
Yeah, and they're still the foot pads are still wood on the XR. But I just bought it to just cruise, and like I saw everybody was getting electric vehicles, and because that was the thing to do during shutdown because everything else was closed.
Oh, they're fun.
And then I got into the Facebook group, and then I started meeting like all these people and like there was like all these group rides, so I started doing that, which turned into racing. Like I actually competed in a race last was it this year? Shoot, it was last year, or was it this year? I can't even
2020?
remember. It was 2020.
So basically the pandemic got you into this thing because it was like everyone's doing an outdoor activity that you can be very social distanced.
And it was like we did these massive group rides, and there's like, I think you guys saw some of it. There was like 70 of us, and we took up like 3 lanes, and it was awesome. And it was during like a mild where like people were still like you were able to eat outside, Like, so we would go to restaurants and charge and like drink some, like we would drink and charge because we did like 10 miles or 13 miles. Or
is that about how long you can go?
Well, for the total miles for the XR, like we like probably had to charge some of them, and I still had a pint at the time, so I had to charge all the time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like restaurants wanted us to come back because we were coming in numbers. Like we were giving these people business. But yeah, it like turned into this big thing, and I never would have thought that I would get into something like as crazy as that was, and it was a lot of fun.
And you still do it every Thursday night?
I host Thursday night group rides in North County. And the rides have kind of dissipated a little bit because things are opening back up and a lot of people are busy and probably doing things. But it's been a real joy and blessing to get to know all these cool people from different walks of life. And some of them were in bands.
Yeah, I was going to say you should bring them out to shows. You should do like ride to the show, charge
we
at
actually
the show,
just did,
ride home.
We did our first, we called it our rock and float. So we actually did, I did host a ride in Encinitas, and it was at, I forgot what bar it was.
But there was music at the bar?
But yeah, it was Dead End Pacific, Art Disposal. And yeah, it was like all of our friends. And so,
Shout out to Kel, Art Dispose.
Yeah, Kel and Casey. And so, yeah, we went to the show after our ride and got some beers and hung out. So we're trying to do more of those. I was going to schedule one for tomorrow because there is a show tomorrow at Poorhouse. There's going to be Art Disposal.
Art Disposal's playing at Poorhouse tomorrow. I might have to go to that.
Yeah, dude. It's going to be sweet. Actually, it's funny because one of my friends that is a Onewheel, he's the dad of 2 kids, and he is a RN nurse, and his wife delivers babies, and he rides a Onewheel. And we like clicked very like super well when we first met each other. And we were talking, like, we got all into music, and then I started going to his house, and we started like scouting out rides for Thursdays. And so he's actually in Art Disposal now. He's a musician. He plays music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's like I've met so many cool people. I've gotten to really experience San Diego on just a different level on an electric device.
Yeah, man, you're part of a cool community now because of this thing. Good.
I know, it's crazy. I didn't even think it was gonna take off the way that it did. And
it fits you. It's very Evan.
Yeah. What is the group called?
San Diego Onewheel Riders.
San Diego Onewheel
There's like
Riders.
1,000 members.
And,
like 1,000 members.
And then you post your rides, your Thursday night rides on there?
I post my Thursday night group rides on the Facebook group page.
Sweet.
Yeah, it just brings everybody together, and you pay a lot of money for these things, so you want to ride them,
Yeah. And it's like a bike, man. It's like a motorcycle.
And there's so many.
It seems very cathartic.
Yeah. It's
really cool.
You would love it, dude, because it's like snowboarding.
No, I've ridden a few of them. They're fun.
Yeah, do you ride at night most of these rides? Or?
Our Thursday rides are mainly nighttime rides, so we make sure everybody brings their flashlights.
Cool experience. Cool. I bet
it is way cool, and like
it'd be a cool music video idea.
Yeah, a lot of people use them for filming because they're stable and they have a gimbal camera or whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of photographers and videographers that ride with us that actually ride with their Onewheels and do videography and stuff like that.
Have you ever ran into Tom on your Onewheel?
I have not, but it would be cool to get him on.
You have ran into him though.
Huh?
You have run into it, Tom. Would you have him sign your Onewheel if you ran into him?
I would. I would
Shay got him to sign his truck.
Shay told me today he got Tom to sign his Jeep.
And then he saw him again, and he was like, "You remember you signed my Jeep?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I remember you."
So funny.
I got
Jurassic
Wade.
Park Jeep.
I got Wade, the drummer from Unwritten Law, on my Onewheel, and he was like, "Dude, this thing is sweet."
Nice. You've gotten everyone on your Onewheel.
Yeah, I got like.
I want to try it. You got it here?
Yeah, I brought it, so we can
go
check
try
it out.
We gotta cool down. It's getting warm in here. The AC's broken
after this, but I raced. I entered in the pro race for the actual Onewheel. They threw a race, and I did terrible. It was terrifying. It was almost 100 degrees in Vegas, and we're out riding these things.
Oh, it was in Vegas?
It was in Vegas.
Nice.
The Vegas, the Onewheel race, and it was like the race to get your chance to move forward to get in race for the rail, and they do it. They're doing it in Utah, and it's like a downhill Onewheel race.
Oh, geez.
It's crazy what they do on these things.
Well, It's an extreme sport, I guess.
Yeah.
Literally, I got off the board and like had to take a break because my feet were just they were just dying, and that's where I lost a whole lot of time.
I've seen people in full on like chest protector and like full face helmet.
Yeah, nothing good comes crashing out of a one wheel.
Well, of course,
because you're nosediving.
Yeah,
The most common bone that people break is their collarbone.
Oh, jeez.
Because you're just... But, I mean, you ride a snowboard, dude. It's like...
Yeah.
Snowboarding is probably way more gnarlier than one-wheeling.
Yeah,
you're going 10 times faster.
Well, falling on the snow is not bad, but I fell on a rail a couple years ago.
Oh, I heard that sucks, dude.
Right before my Himmelberg show, and I couldn't even sing. I was like...
My buddy hit a box and like hit a jump and landed on his back on the box and he was knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah.
Also a one-wheel rider. But yeah, didn't ever think that I was gonna be so in. And I also bought an e-bike too, so that's a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, e-bikes are super fun.
They're so rad.
Love e-bikes.
I saw one on Instagram for like $60, and I was like, that can't be real. These stupid ads.
$60?
Yeah.
That is a
I'm sure I'll see it again because I looked into it, but...
That is a garbage toy.
Probably. Just like that tent, my Snoopy tent. Do you know about the Snoopy tent?
No, I don't. What happened?
So we were about to go on a tour. A couple nights were like camping festivals. And I saw this ad come up on Instagram that was like, fold out tent. It folds into this little circle. And then you just unzip it, and it folds into this big tent. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. I need a tent for this tour. $15, I'll get it. And it takes forever to show up. And then I finally got it like the day before the tour. I was like, my tent's here. I open it up. It's literally this big.
It's like a puppy for puppies.
It's so small. But in the video, it's like a huge tent.
Oh my gosh.
How did they...
That's like one of those ads, dude, where they like got you. But...
I got all my money back because I was like, first of all, it never showed up, and then once it showed up, it was like it showed up too late and it was way too small, and so whatever. I got a free little tent out of it, but I ended up sleeping in it on top of the van, just covering my head.
Yeah, only.
And it came down halfway down my back.
Oh my gosh!
It was just like a little sun cover.
Literal
that
Snoopy
is so
tent.
funny, dude. That is so. Now you just got to buy a dog.
I still have it.
That was one of the funniest sights ever. So good.
All right. Well, anyways, we got to wrap. I got you some vocalies for
sweet. Thanks,
the next
dude.
time you're
next podcast.
singing your heart out.
I've been meaning to buy some of this stuff from you. Sorry.
I want you guys to try these too. You know how I got my throat drops all the time?
Let's do it.
So these are ginger flavored cayenne pepper throat drops. It's a weird combo. They're spicy.
I'm ready.
They're spicy.
Are we doing this right now?
Hey, did you guys see my...
Did you make this?
No, I don't make these. I'm good friends with the vocalies people.
Oh my gosh. Imagine Mike.
It's just
they are spicy.
With a witch's cauldron making vocalies.
However they make them.
So is Vocalies your company? Like, do you like make this? And
no, they just sponsor my music and the podcast and
sweet.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, and I used to go around to all the guitar centers and Long and McQuaid's, which is like the Canadian music store, and just kind of educate the employees on what it is and like
this is rad.
What it's for. Yeah, it's great. They're a great company. They're super nice. They have a really cool YouTube channel too called the Van Culters. Their last name's Coulter. And
sweet.
They travel. They made they customized this Sprinter van to run their business out of and live in, and all the issues they had with that, and show you how to customize a van. It's really interesting. So check out Van Culters, check out Vocalies. Yeah,
This is
delicious.
great. I love this flavor.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
I can feel it warming my pipes up.
Yeah. I really love the strawberry one, but this one I feel like is doing more for my voice.
Yeah. Well, they all definitely do a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I can feel
This one's got some heat.
the heat. Dude, did you see my Instagram story today?
No, I don't think so. Why?
You didn't see it? I posted this.
Did you do a wheelie on your motorcycle?
What am I looking at? Is that Richard?
Do you know who that is?
Is that Tom DeLong?
Yeah.
Did you follow him and like say what's up?
Dude, we were both heading to the same place, which I cannot disclose.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I just saw him in traffic.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
I took a picture. I put on my story. I like covered his license plate. It just said Wednesday because today's Wednesday. And no one said.
You should have tagged them.
No.
Whatever. You're just at a stoplight. You're not at the place.
But dude, check this out. I posted it in the Pop Punk Kids Facebook crew. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I just said, I refuse to even ask if this is pop punk, and I just posted that image.
You love getting that group riled up.
No one even knows that it's Tom. They don't even know.
Nice.
I'm getting all these questions of people thinking they think I'm flexing my bike. You can maybe show the image in the podcast if you want.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll put it up.
They don't even know that it's Tom. And then I'm like making all these like allusions in the comment section. Like, what do you think Tom DeLong thinks about BMWs?
We got to get a case of White Claw and have him on the show. Have him on the podcast.
Dude, yeah, you got it.
Can you are we still rolling right now?
Yeah, we're almost done.
First off, I appreciate you having me on your podcast. This is the first time I've ever been on your podcast, and I've watched a lot of your podcasts.
Won't be the last.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
So thank you for
Thanks for co-hosting.
You're natural.
I may have been a little nervous because I've never been on a video podcast, so I'm like, oh shoot.
Dude,
hopefully my wording is like right, but like
you got star power.
I can't talk enough as it is, dude. I don't have perfect grammar. You
do have star power though. You really don't care what. Yeah, you ask whatever you want to ask, and you don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah, until I watch it, and I'm like, oh, like you're like, hey Evan, I'm like releasing your episode. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm joking.
No, you got some good stuff in there.
But can you get Tom on here if you wanted to?
I'm gonna try.
It'd be sweet. I mean, if anything, you guys do have those connections for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'd have to ask when the time's right.
Yeah.
Should give it to even have a shot. But we'll see.
Exactly.
There was some podcast that he was on from some random people that I had no idea who the heck they were.
Yeah, I should just say it's a UFO podcast.
No.
Don't do that.
That's funny.
There was some podcasters that had him on that I didn't even know who the heck they were, and I was like, how the heck did they get Tom on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of podcasts like that. You just got to shoot your shot and do it right. That's one thing that I really want to get better at is like having some more established guests on the show. But I like having friends on too. I'm just trying to get better at it. For now.
No, I mean, I love your podcast,
Thanks, man.
Sometimes it sounds like you're super tired and you're falling asleep, but I'm just joking.
I'm joking, man.
Wake up,
I took a nap before this one because I knew I can't be tired on these things.
No,
it's tough. It's tough to squeeze it all in, man, like we were talking about. It's tough to like have a band and a job and then get one of these in every week. I don't know how some guys do it like every day, but
this feels like a hot Cheeto in my mouth right now.
It's hot, right?
It's good.
I
love it.
Like struggling to like not spit it out, but we'll be all right.
I bet your voice is gonna feel great though.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sing the whole way home.
It's like medicine.
Some summer years stuff.
Nice. Let's go ride that one-wheeler.
Yeah. You want to ride the one-wheel? The XR.
Boys.
Anything else you want to shout out? Did we miss anything?
Shout out to everybody making rad music, just doing the thing in Riot Scene, Avenue Army, all of our friends. Say Days Ago, cool. Mario, Rivera, is it
Riviera?
Don't slap me.
Nights Like Thieves.
The Avenue Armies. Did I already say them?
Yep, you did. Love Max.
I mean, even bands that aren't a band anymore. Infinite Signal,
Yeah, Infinite Sig. They were supposed to be on here, and then they moved in the pandemic.
Man, Kelly and Kevin, man. Or Kelly and Eli, sorry.
Eli.
Oh, it's been a long day. It's been a long day, sorry. Kelly and Eli. Who else? Art Disposal. Everybody let's go
to that tomorrow.
Yeah, are you down? I'll meet you there. I might be a little late, but they will. Your presence definitely needs to be there.
Sweet.
I'll be there. I'll probably be at like the last 3 songs, but I'll be there.
So I'm gonna start doing sound there soon. So I was there last week actually for a
So I actually
show.
just met the owner of that place. She's super, super nice.
Cool.
Yeah, she's way cool.
Awesome,
All right, boys. That's a wrap.
Yeah, thanks
for
having
being
me.
on.
Sweet.
All right, episode 37 in the books. Thank you, Evan Gutierrez and Nick Linari, for joining me for this episode. Thank you for checking out this episode. And of course, a big thank you to the folks at Vocalese for hooking us up with some throat spray and their wonderful new ginger cayenne pepper throat drops. These things are fire, literally. They will warm up your voice like you wouldn't believe. This bag is empty. They went so fast. They're delicious, and they got me through a gnarly cold last week. So get your very own ginger cayenne pepper throat drops and bottle of Vocalese for 15% off by going to this link beside my head. I'll leave it in the description as well. Thanks again, Evan, for coming out to all the shows. Be sure to follow Evan, see what he's got going on. He's always tagging us in photos if you want to see what we got going on too. Thank you again for checking out this episode. Follow, subscribe, click like, the notify bell, all that stuff really helps, and it will help you see more episodes like this one. So see you next week for another episode of State of My Art Podcast.